The installation by the tiny Conservative cult of Liz Truss, a Margaret Thatcher tribute act, as Prime Minister without a general election reminds me of Neil Kinnock's famous speech in 1983. The future Labour leader was a young firebrand at the time, and he warned if Thatcher was re-elected, "I warn you not to be ordinary. I warn you not to be young. I warn you not to fall ill, and I warn you not to get old." Truss is a dangerous right-winger with the most frightening elements of the Conservative Party behind her. We've watched a leadership contest that seems to have gone on as long as the Game of Thrones and proved more violent. She's been accused by defeated rival Rishi Sunak of fairy tale economics and by Michael Gove, a senior cabinet minister for much of the last 12 years, of taking a holiday from reality. She will impose sweeping public service spending cuts, and her tax cuts will go mainly to the rich. And on that central burning issue of fuel bills, which is keeping awake families at night, she has yet to produce an answer, because she sees across the board substantial direct payments as, quote, handouts, which suggests a hostility to state intervention or anything that she considers to be welfare, while corporations will get welfare with 17 billion in corporation tax coming their way. So she can do a lot of damage, a lot of heavy damage, despite the fact that she is something of a political lightweight. She's been courting the far right in the Conservative Party, and she is the Remainer in 2016 who warned that Brexit would be disastrous for trade and has been proved right on that, who has now become the Brextremist with a real zeal of those who shouted Brexit would be a great success. It hasn't proved so. So therefore, what does she conclude? You need more Brexit to prove it works. Triggering Article 16, effectively tearing up an international treaty with the European Union on departure over Northern Ireland, will risk another trade war which Britain cannot face. She's also something of a fantasist in herself, and she thinks the threat of recession, which the Bank of England is predicting, is all about talking about it. Don't talk about it, it won't happen. No, that's not the case. The economy has been weak during the rule of the Conservatives. National debt has more than doubled. Economic growth has been very low. Real wages really didn't rise at all. Now they're going to go for a record fall, the biggest fall in 100 years, wiping out 2 decades of growth. Inflation is going through the roof, 10.1 on the Consumer Price Index, predicted by some Goldman Sachs bankers to hit 22%. She's not up to the job. We've got a climate crisis she runs away from. She's very difficult with other countries. She's not rated in the US, for instance, where they had to deal with her to some extent on trade. The Russians, sadly, don't see her as formidable, not least because she would confuse the Black and the Baltic Seas, which shows a complete lack of geography. The NHS is facing a winter crisis. She has no plan for that. She has no plan for social care. So we're in for a really bumpy ride. What she's very good at is posing for photographs on Instagram. She has an obsession with that. She thinks the selfie will get her everywhere. I would suggest the only way we can cope with this is buckle up to the next general election. But Labour knew she'd be bad for the country, but she'd be good for the opposition, because she could be worse than Boris Johnson by being Boris Johnson, the continuity candidate without the jokes. If you thought he was bad, I'm afraid it could get a whole lot worse.